This video is sponsored by Current. More on that later.
YouTube makes me want to quit. This is a phrase a lot of creators on YouTube are saying right now, and it also doesn't make a lot of sense. You get the dream job, the career that so many people dream for years of having, and you want to throw that away? And that question may seem like a big one to tackle, but I'm here and I'm ready to have that conversation. The conversation about the tug of war between the creative drive that got the YouTuber to their career in the first place and the numbers, the money, and the audience being thrown at them, consistently driving towards a monotonous cycle of familiarity and creation. Does that sound bleak? That's probably because it is. And if none of this really makes sense to you yet, that makes sense because this is a very, very broad conversation that I am struggling to explain in this script. I guess my objective with this video is to give viewers the context behind how a creator functions and their process behind their work. And this isn't really a commentary video or anything funny or something that I'd normally do, but funny enough, that idea of stepping out of my box and trying something new will tie directly into what we're talking about today. Diverting from what you know and how you handle the consequences that come with that. Let's dive in. Okay, so let's start with a broad explanation of this question and then work our way in as we go. The YouTube algorithm works in a very complicated way, but it all boils down to one pretty simple thing. Viewers are good for YouTube. They make money, and as a result, YouTube wants viewers, right? So to get more viewers, YouTube wants to show you, the viewers, something that you would want to watch. And to do that, they take something that you've already seen and something that you watch a lot of, and they keep feeding it to you because you like that content and they're gonna get views out of it. So YouTube feeds you what you know, you watch more of it, and everyone's happy, right?
Wrong! You're so wrong!
You're so wrong and stupid. Why would you think that? The short of it is that YouTube likes when a creator does the same thing over and over again because they can feed it to a viewer who wants to watch the same thing over and over again, and that makes them money, and then everyone's happy, right? No, absolutely not. Why do you keep trying to butt in and make assumptions based off of my tone? You're so stupid. YouTube gets hard off of the idea of a creator doing the same thing over and over again. So when a creator doesn't do the same thing over and over again, YouTube gets scared and decides, why don't we show this viewer content from another creator that is similar to the content that this creator used to make, since they're not making that content anymore. Rather than showing the viewer a creator that they consistently watch, they'd rather show a viewer a type of video that they consistently watch. It means that YouTube favors the content over the creator. Their priority is viewership, and they aren't willing to risk viewership to show a video that is off the beaten path to a viewer because they don't trust the viewer to enjoy that kind of content, even if it's from a creator that they consistently enjoy. Here's an easier way to understand. As a creator, you're sort of like a babysitter in this building with all these other babysitters who babysit the same kind of way that you do. And you have a parent of a child bring their child to you to take care of every week or so, right? And let's say one day you decide to leave that building because you want to experiment with your babysitting techniques, and so you leave the babysitting building and you move to a new building where you can freely experiment with the new technique. And then all of a sudden the parent of this child doesn't go to you anymore to babysit their child that they usually give to you every week. They decide to go to your old building and give their child to someone who babysits like you used to babysit with your old techniques. Now you're stuck with fewer children to babysit all of a sudden just because you want to experiment on the way you take care of them? How is that fair? All right, that's kind of like the worst possible metaphor I could come up with for that scenario. So I should probably pump the brakes on that one and rework it because I'm kind of making it sound like this whole YouTube algorithm thing is actually working perfectly fine. Either way, YouTube's prioritizing current trends and what's popular at the moment over building longevity and an audience with a particular creator. This is great for YouTube making money in the short run, but in the long run, it promotes a culture of creators that get big quick and are thrown out by YouTube so they can latch viewers on to the next cool thing without focusing on helping creators build a career so they can work alongside YouTube and help them with consistent viewership far into the future. Okay, so YouTube has this cycle where they punish creators for trying new things. If you're not happy with the type of content you're creating, you may lose a lot of your base because of it, even if it's just a small little change. And this is the same situation among a lot of social platforms. TikTok and Facebook are the exact same way. There tends to be three popular paths that the algorithm likes. The first one is that you must follow what the current trend is on that platform. This is big on TikTok especially, but it's also very true for YouTube. If you're a musician, it's popular to follow the music trends going on with every creator on the app, whether it's covering a certain song, making a song with a specific limitation, or just doing whatever Charlie Puth does that given week.
What if the song started off like...
The second path is that you must do what you always do. This is really big on YouTube. Whether or not the focus of your channel is on your personality and not the content itself, if you make music reviews, you're gonna wanna keep making music reviews. If you play video games on your channel, even if you decide one week that you wanna make a video essay on a video game that you really love, that's not close enough to playing an actual game, which is what you do, so you're not gonna get a good amount of views on that. Whether or not the people are there for your personality or just to watch video games themselves. And the third path is you must do what got you popular in the first place on the platform. Have you heard of Untitled? And have you seen his full-length YouTube content compared to his YouTube shorts? Even though it can be fun to clown on someone who seems like a one-trick pony, this doesn't just apply to Untitled or any other popular TikTok creator doing seemingly low effort and basic content. Any creator who gets one lucky break on TikTok or YouTube can try as hard as they want to break out of that shell, but it's almost never gonna happen even if they're talented in so many other areas. Now, could this really be this scary algorithm I'm talking about? Is YouTube really at fault at the end of the day? What about the audience? Doesn't it make sense that the audience as human beings are programmed to want to just keep watching the same content, and the moment you change, they're just bored of you? That does make sense. Thanks for watching this video.
Is over now.
No, but let's actually, dive into this idea. Humans are conditioned to habit, and this could be a case of the audience not being interested in something they're used to. And while this idea does hold water and could be part of our issue here, it seems like the numbers support the original theory that I had, that YouTube is the biggest factor of this problem. While videos that follow your channel's usual trends are pushed by YouTube with consistent impressions, it's proven that videos outside of that trend are given less impressions from the jump. This means that YouTube will immediately pull back pushing your video after learning that it doesn't match your usual content. I know there's a lot of words. Let me try to boil this down a little bit. So rather than giving your video your usual audience first, and then deciding later if they have to pull back that video, they get ahead of it and they decide to promote a different creator first so they don't have to waste money and viewership on something that they think might be a risk. YouTube prioritizes themselves in the short run over the creativity of a creator by not giving them the audience that they worked for. Most creators get their viewership from YouTube's homepage and suggested videos, so by cutting them off from their normal viewer base, it also cuts off the possibility of a creator experimenting with new ideas without having a consequence. That was a lot, and it confused even me, so hopefully that makes sense. Maybe I tried to put up some visuals up there for you, so maybe it makes more sense. Sorry, I'm not a great writer or speaker. I'm sort of writing this script and just rambling as I go while I eat tomatoes. So that's how YouTube's system works from the inside, but how is this idea shown on the creator side of things? Well, let me introduce you to the YouTube Creator Studios video ranking system. 30 minutes after a creator posts a video, they're shown where that video ranks out of the last 10 videos they posted in that same time frame. So 30 minutes after I post, YouTube tells me, your video has this many views. How many views did your last 10 videos have in their first 30 minutes? And this continues on for as long as that video is up until you post another video. If your video is up for 5 days, YouTube will show you where the rest of your videos were in the first 5 days. And it sounds helpful, and in a lot of ways it is, and it makes you feel good when it's number 1 or number 3 or even number 5 on the chart. But at the same exact time, it is one of the biggest detriments to a creator's mental health when making decisions about their content. And let's dive into why that is. Now, the first thing this ranking system does is tell you how your video is initially performing as you post it. Whether or not that video is going to perform well in the long run and maybe even become your best video, YouTube will throw a 10 of 10 at you if your video isn't doing great right from the jump. Now, what does this do besides making someone sad? Well, it causes a few reactions, panic being the most common one. If you've ever noticed right after a creator posts a video, the thumbnail and title changing on that video, this is usually why. Creators will change the title, change the thumbnail, and do whatever else they can do to tell their audience that, hey, this is a video worth watching. It also tells you what your best video out of 10 is, which is YouTube telling you that you should be replicating that video if you want to get the most views you can, even if the topics between the two videos are completely different. YouTube will also tell you if the watch time of your video is better or worse than normal, and not the percentage of a video a viewer will watch, but the actual time itself. So if you're usually posting 30-minute videos and then you decide to post a 15-minute video, YouTube will yell at you with a big fat arrow telling you that your viewers are watching less of the video than normal. And that's because there's less of the video to watch. You posted a shorter video. And people complained about this at first because YouTube would hit you with a big red arrow pointing downwards. But luckily, YouTube did a huge thing to fix this by making the arrow gray instead of red. So thank you, YouTube, for listening to us creators and helping us out. And the view count of a video in its first 30 minutes or even a few days of a video is a very small sign of how your video may perform in the long run. Some videos get way better impressions in the first 30 minutes because the last video you posted did really well. And there's tons of other factors that play into the initial view count of a video. But YouTube looks right at those views and they tell you that this is the video you should be creating, this 1 out of 10 video. And depending on the content you make, a lot of those videos for creators are commonly trends or popular current events that a creator wants to take advantage of to help their channel. This isn't just the kind of content they want to make and they're gonna look at this and be like, okay, well now I guess I gotta make every video about this random thing I decided to do one video on. So YouTube not only prioritizes trends and popular media, which disincentivizes creativity and uniqueness, but they also physically tell the creator, you need to keep creating this media that's getting you views, whether or not you're having a good time making that. This is mostly for my dad. I'm sorry that my eyes keep darting to the script. I don't have a good memory. I don't go to school. In what time in my life do I have to memorize things? I'm gonna read the script. Okay? And at the same time, YouTube's telling you that the videos that don't perform well right away should be avoided at all costs. And while this may be helpful for a channel that's focusing on news, drama, tech, or any media that focuses on just like objective, straightforward communication, it is not great for the majority of YouTube channels which focus on creativity and already suffer from the emotional and mental game of balancing passion with a career in content creation. Do I sound dramatic? Yeah, I do. It's my job. So what? Is it worth it for me to pour time into this passion project I have? Or should I pump out 4 or 5 videos in the same amount of time that'll get me like 20 times the income? Because again, this is my job. You know, first and foremost, I have to live. That's the question that YouTube makes a lot of these creators ask themselves, and that number just keeps getting higher. And this isn't me saying that YouTube is in a super easy position here, that there's like this obvious answer to all of this. It's a tough thing to have such a diverse and vast amount of creators on this platform, and I really wouldn't know where to start if I was in their position. Actually, I do have a few good ideas of where to start. But hey, I'll never know because I'm not Susan Wojcicki. But my question is whether or not YouTube's actually trying and if there's a solution we can work towards today. I also want to specify that this isn't a video of me just like projecting my insecurities and issues with YouTube because I'm mad at them for not giving me more views than I need or whatever. In my past 9 months or whatever of doing YouTube full time, I've already seen this shift as I have met more and more creators, and I see how this website affects someone who's struggling to figure out how to create something that's going to be meaningful to them and something that YouTube's going to like at the same time. But before I talk about those creators in particular, I want to do a quick history of how I started YouTube and how my channel felt affected by this creative block, so you see where I'm coming from. Guys, I need to take a freaking break from the video and let you guys know how we're gonna be supported after today's video, because, you know, who knows how it's gonna perform. I can't just rely on views all the time, which is why I'm happy to talk about today's sponsor, Current. Guys, Current is the new way to money. Oh my gosh, every time I'm at all those crazy parties I go to and people are walking around talking about finances, oh, it's a snooze fest. I want to fall asleep. I don't want to be there anymore, which is why I love Current. They keep it simple and secure. You can manage your money your way on your phone. I don't want to go talk to a boring accountant. Banking hasn't been built for you or me. It's been built for those nerds. And I want an app that's gonna help me manage and save and spend my money better. Current's got customizable saving pods where you can swipe and get rewarded right away. And look how beautiful that card is. It is sleek. It is sexy. Speaking of slick and sexy, I know one thing that's not. My couch, because my cat keeps scratching it. So today I want to use my Current card to buy something to prevent that from ever happening again. Boom, sofa scratcher, cat scratching post, and couch corner furniture protector. I gotta get one that looks like mine. Gonna go for the moss. Buying it right now with my Current card. Throw a clip of Bambi with his new couch corner thing right now. Go to the link in my description and learn how you can get Current right now. Thank you again to Current for sponsoring this video. Let's get back to it. I started doing commentary in January of 2021 when I had about 1,000 subscribers. There wasn't much expectation since my channel was losing viewers every time I posted a video, and I wanted to make a change since I was getting around 50 views in a week for one video. As my channel quickly grew in March and the numbers kept climbing, there wasn't really an expectation for views quite yet, since everything still felt like it was in the air of whether or not I was gonna do YouTube as my full-time job. After a few months, I decided I wanted to change things up a little bit on my main channel after kind of talking about the same things over and over again. Social media guru to wacky Republican to extremist Christian, and the cycle kept going. So I tried making a video about something that I was super excited about, and that was bad freestyle rappers. It was a topic that I was interested in, and I hadn't really explored it on my channel before, so I took a shot at it, and I was really proud with how the video turned out. But I quickly learned a lesson about staying away from topics that don't concern me, because that video tanked hard. And even though in the long run that video ended up being one of my higher viewed videos, the first week was so brutal on me because in my head I kept wondering why my audience wouldn't want to watch a video that I worked hard on, put a lot of effort into, and the audience kept telling me the video was good and I thought the video was good, yet YouTube was telling me, no, this video's bad. This video sucks. As my second channel picked up and I started posting daily there, that lesson hit me even harder. Tier lists and ranking videos would perform 5 times worse on my channel than normal videos, and even though people continually ask me to make videos with my cat, when I'd post a video with my cat, YouTube would hate it. And one thing I noticed with these videos is that people went out of their way to tell me they particularly liked these kind of videos. They liked that I was changing it up, even though they performed like not well at all. I would get comments saying, hey, you gotta make this content more often. We love this stuff. Yet the algorithm told me otherwise. So finally, the last video I posted on my main channel about trying to become a ventriloquist was kind of the final nail in the coffin that led to this video you're watching right now. A video that I was very proud of and that I believed in, but it was just kicked into the dust by the algorithm like a guy who like kicks people into the dust, I guess. I don't know. Except the comments were filled with people who said that this was their favorite video I've ever made. They wanted me to make more videos like this, and they were entertained, and that's my job, right? So why is the platform that I'm posting on telling me the exact opposite? That's the million-dollar question. The love triangle between what you want, what your audience wants, and what YouTube wants. That's the balance you have to find, and it's harder than ever. And as I said before, I'm not alone on this. Your favorite creators either battle with the same problem, or they're lucky enough where their passions line up with YouTube's rigid and soul-sucking algorithm. I asked a few creators to give me their thoughts on the issue, and here's what they had to say.
I've only been doing YouTube as a job for 3 months, and I've already been able to very quickly see a pattern forming with what YouTube is trying to get me to make versus what they really don't want me to make. If I change topics, if I have a guest on, if I upload a shorter video, any of these factors can make a video that would normally be a 1 through 3 out of 10, a 7, 8, 9, or even 10 out of 10. What I think the most frustrating thing for me is how little YouTube tells you other than, fuck you, it's an 8 out of 10. Well, this one's 7 out of 10. I don't like it. But they like put on this facade that they actually care about creators' well-being and mental health, and they flood you with all these statistics of like geographic location and age and gender breakdown and things that ultimately don't have any input on my content. My audience is most active 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Pacific, but sometimes I'll upload at midnight and that's my best video. Despite all of this other redundant information, YouTube doesn't tell you what you need to know. Why is a video doing well or not doing well in the period of time that YouTube considers most important? And the ranking system isn't the only thing that makes videos so hard to make. YouTube also gives you pretty detailed graphs on how your growth is over a period of 28 days. And if your growth is less 1 month than it is from the last, they hit with a red arrow and it shows you exactly how much % down you are. I don't want to know that. And it's not my fault anyway. I have no control over how many subscribers I get in a given period. I'm uploading the same frequency and the same amount. It's YouTube's fucking job to push my video and get eyeballs on it. I guess for me, I'm just confused on where the responsibility lies. Why does it feel like a punishment when a video is 8 or 9 out of 10 on the ranking system when I've done everything normal that has promoted other videos in the past, but YouTube didn't spread that video as far and wide as another one? But I guess that's my fault. Nick, do you want me to do anything else? Nick, you could put me in the thumbnail if you want.
I've been on YouTube for like a really long time, and now doing the reaction video thing, feeling like I have some solid ground. I'm realizing that it's just so niche now. I don't know, like maybe it's just for music people, but you have to make so specific kinds of video. Like, it's not even to the point in which I could make videos about like other pop artists. It's like I have to make videos about just like a certain subset, and it's like they expect you to love it. It's like, what do you do when you have an audience who you want to make happy, but you listen to music and you're like, nah, okay, this is ass. You know, it's just kind of making me feel like I need to fake content to be thrown in front of the right people. And it's like, why can't I just make the exact same content that I would usually make and have it reach the amount of people that good videos reach?
If YouTube didn't have any creative constraints on their algorithm, I would probably post more food reviews. Yeah, that's right, I said it. And then I would become a massive food review empire and get to eat food for free. And probably more music theory videos and interviews with local musicians from around here. That would be really cool. I really want to do that, but whenever I do interviews, unless there was someone who's famous or something, they don't really get views because YouTube sucks fat flaps sometimes.
I've definitely always felt like I need to cater the type of videos I make to the algorithm. I feel like the way it kind of happens with a lot of creators is like you start on YouTube making a bunch of different types of videos because you don't really know what's gonna stick and you're passionate about a bunch of different things. And then like if you start to blow up, it's usually one video that blows up. And so like you're like, okay, so this is what people want to see. And so you keep making more of that video. And then before you know it, like that is what you do. So for me, it was commentary. It's like I'm a commentary channel now, even though like before that I was posting sketches and music videos and a whole bunch of stuff like that, but now it's like my channel is commentary. And I think at first you don't realize because you're blowing up and that's so exciting in the first place that like you're sort of like leaving behind a bunch of stuff that you were also passionate about. But it's really easy to get caught up in thinking like, well, I don't want to post a music video on my channel because I know they always get less views than my main channel. And I also don't want people to think that like, oh, Danny's just posting music videos now, I'm gonna unsubscribe or not watch his videos anymore because I subscribed for one thing and now it seems like I'm getting another. I guess I don't really even know if that's the algorithm's fault that like not as many people want to watch my music videos. The algorithm can't make people want to watch my music videos. Can it? And it's also hard if you want to like take time to make a different type of video, then you're like away from your audience for a long time. And then you're worried like people are going to forget about you and like you're going to come back with this awesome video that's like a different style and people are going to be like, we don't care. Also, we forgot who you are. Who are you? And the trickiest part is that people generally want to see you do the thing that they subscribe to your channel for, which makes a lot of sense, but then also will get bored of that after a while. Like, you know, people get bored of TV shows and certain genres of music and stuff. They'll get bored of certain genres of YouTube too. That's just how it goes. So it's like you kind of have to do the same thing, but also like over time you do kind of have to change. And that like balancing act is really difficult to navigate too. Anyway, yeah, it stopped me from making a lot of videos that I probably would have otherwise made if I like didn't have to worry about how many views a video was gonna get or how long it was gonna take to make. But also sometimes I do just make them anyway because, you know, it's my channel. I'll do whatever I want.
Okay, so let's gather what this effect has on creators from what we see in these videos and what we've seen with a lot of popular creators on this site. Well, you've seen what it's done to my channel. A lot of creators, including me, have moved to posting on alternate channels to have less pressure with a big audience when trying out new content. If a video doesn't mentally live up to the standard that a creator has set for it, then they're gonna move that to a smaller audience. And for me, a lot of those videos sometimes perform just as well as a lot of my main channel videos. So why even post on a channel that has fewer subscribers? Honestly, I don't know. My main channel just feels like it has to be saved for projects that I'm more passionate about now, so it's less stressful for me just to put most of my videos on the second channel. Another thing that happens to a lot of creators is they'll stay stagnant in what they create because they're too afraid to leave that specific trend, so they refuse to get creative and do what they're passionate about. This ties into a lot of creators having this fear of loss, being scared that their channel is going to inevitably lose their audience if they decide to make different videos than what their audience is used to. Some creators will just become a worse version of what YouTube wants them to be, devolving into the cycle of a trend so far that it just becomes the only thing that they can post for the rest of their career. And the worst of them all, and something that I've seen so many times throughout my life on YouTube, a creator just will stop making videos. They become so stressed and frustrated with the idea of losing their channel by posting different videos that they're actually happy with, that they hold off on posting and then just inevitably stop creating altogether. And that can't be good for YouTube's platform. The fact that so many creators are feeling stress over their videos, you'd think that YouTube would want to do something about that, because in the end, that helps them. Now, what creators have we kind of seen some of these shifts with? Well, Guava Juice is someone who used to make comedy videos that I felt were like kind of normal, I guess. I mean, I was in middle school, so I don't really know. And in the past 5 years, he has devolved into this cycle of making the same video over and 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 over again for years. And I'm not here to look down on channels or talk about whether or not this is inherently wrong, but it does make me sad to know that he most likely doesn't feel like he can venture outside of this bubble without popping it and losing a lot of his base and his income. I mean, every once in a while you can see him try to post a video here and there where he attempts something new, and there's just this obvious shift in the viewership. Okay, so let's talk about how realistic my complaints are and if there's anything YouTube can really do to fix this. I mean, it's such a big, vast problem that I don't see YouTube ever doing anything about, but here's what I think anyways. People don't come to YouTube to look at a specific trend and look at every boring iteration of it. They come to watch the creator that they're fixated on, and they want to see when their favorite creators have a new video out. YouTube has the power of pushing impressions on a video, so the question is whether or not there's a world where YouTube could give more confidence to underperforming videos to test out a crowd for that specific kind of content. Instead of immediately taking away impressions from a creator trying something new, why doesn't YouTube see what channels are drawing in a healthy viewer base and give more confidence to their videos even if they're going off the beaten path with a new video? Promote those different videos to their audience for a short period of time and see if the audience is interested in that kind of new content, rather than pulling out the rug before the creator even has the chance to show something new to their audience that usually shows up for anything they post. And I'm sure YouTube does this on a much smaller scale, testing out an audience with new content to see if they should promote it more. But I think they should focus more on keeping a consistent audience with a creator rather than a consistent audience with a genre, if that makes any sense. YouTube also very obviously does not focus on the criticism and suggestions from individual creators that represent their website. And I think if they did, they see a community that thrives a lot more than they do at this point in time. YouTubers are constantly telling YouTube what they could do to make the site better, but it's clear that those suggestions are not something that they're willing to consider. So how do I wrap this mess of a video up into something that makes sense? A conclusion is what they call it in high school. So you start by going, in conclusion, this video is a mess. I guess I do have this sort of meta thing going on here with this video because I'm expecting it to perform really poorly since it's not what I usually create. So that's kind of cool. But then if it does perform well, then it performed well. So it's a win-win. I either succeeded in having the cool meta thing or succeeded in my job. I'm gaming the system on YouTube in 2022. I'm the best. Okay, here we go. YouTube prioritizes short-term views for its platform over building an audience with a creator in the long term. Even though they make more money right now by showing millions of people a popular trend or story, they take creators and throw them out if they stop satisfying YouTube's algorithm, and then they move on to the next creator who does what they want, rather than focusing on building an audience over time for creators who commit to posting on their platform for a long period of time. This is definitely going to hurt YouTube in the long run since they're promoting this culture that doesn't keep creators around, which in turn doesn't keep viewers around for those creators. YouTube not only obstructs a creator's creativity, but they promote the opposite and don't give creators the confidence to try new things. So who knows what the purpose of this video is? I think I'm just passionate about the fact that I know so many creators who want to try creative and amazing new things with their platform, yet they have the very platform they're posting on telling them to stay in their lane, and if they don't, they may be happy that they can make content they're passionate about, but they're going to immediately regret that because it's going to affect their audience, their income, and the potential to try new things in the future. I know that's how I feel, at least. Hey, thanks for watching this video. If you made it this far, I don't know how because I even got bored trying to figure out how to put this into words. 2022 will hopefully be a year filled with new ideas and the potential for some exciting new things. I want to take that risk and challenge the stupid algorithm with something that makes me happy, and I hope that I can do that in 2022. Thank you to all the creators who appeared in this video, and especially to Jarvis Johnson, who helped me piece together some of my thoughts for this video and gave me a great perspective on his time on this platform as a creator. Go check everyone out in the description down below. They're my friends. Okay, have a great week, everyone. I'll be back next week, and hopefully I'll make some jokes. Bye.